live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Laddie Williams.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Vice President Kashim Shettima tasked graduates of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies to develop policies that will help in shaping the future of Nigeria. The National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Tanimu Turaki, and the BOT members visit former President Olusegun Obasanjo, says PDP will win the governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states. Judges, legal practitioners, others discuss issues of lack of confidence and trust in Nigeria's justice system. Plus, 2 U.S. soldiers and a U.S. civilian interpreter killed in Syria in an ambush by an Islamic State gunman.
And on sports news tonight, Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim unsure of Bryan Mbeumo, Ahmed Diallo, Nasir Muzrai's availability for Bournemouth clash due to the African Cup of Nations.
Begin with economic matters now. Vice President Kashim Shettima believes Nigeria's future remains in capable hands. He stated this at the graduation ceremony of senior executives from the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru Jos, Plateau State. The Vice President charged them to move policies from paper to practical action. He described the program as a deliberate investment in national development and a critical step towards producing leaders capable of delivering solutions in key sectors of the economy, including the blue economy.
Vice President Kashim Shettima arrived at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, for the graduation of the Senior Executive Course 47, 2025. The Vice President is a special guest of honor, and his speech is a charge to the graduates to see their certificates as the beginning of greater national responsibility.
This is the highest premium on every.
He described the program as a deliberate investment in Nigeria's future, stressing that development policies must be practical, implementable, and rooted in the country's realities.
We are grateful for your sustained and rigorous inquiries into the affairs of the maritime domain. Inquiries that continue to provide the nation with insights it depends on. Your latest research makes it clear that securing Nigeria's waterways, coastlines, and inland communities goes far beyond safety alone. It speaks to livelihoods, food security, environmental protection, and national cohesion.
The Senior Executive Course 47 focuses on blue economy and sustainable development in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and opportunities. Governor Caleb Mufwang of Plateau State urged the graduates to justify the badge they now wear through solution-driven contributions in their various institutions.
It will only be meaningful that after this, that your memos are richer, your memos are solution-oriented, and you make the job of your bosses easier because you come with fresh and exciting perspectives.
The Director General of the Institute, Professor Ayo Motayo, says the Institute remains central to policy formulation and strategic decision-making in Nigeria, adding that the Blue Economy study was aimed at informing policies around the nation's marine assets.
Their study report, which attracted commendation at Presidential Panel 3 days ago, has provided profound insights into port modernization, fisheries governance, maritime security, renewable energy potentials, coastal resilience, and private sector innovation.
Speaking for the graduates, the Monitor General of the course speaks of the impact of the program.
Through lectures, seminars, and countless policy sessions across 9 major modules, we found ourselves thinking differently about Nigeria's rivers, oceans, and coastlines, not as distant geography, but as opportunities for jobs, innovation, and sustainable national growth.
The Institute graduated 96 participants of Senior Executive Course 47, attended by security teams, government officials, and family members. After 10 10 months of intensive training and research on the blue economy, members of Senior Executive Course 47 are expected to translate policy recommendations into action. As they return to their respective sectors, attention now turns to the coordination, innovation, and partnerships for sustainable development.
And to politics now. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Taminu Turaki, has expressed the readiness of the party towards winning the off-season governorship elections in Osun and Ekiti State. He made this known after a closed-door meeting with former President Olusegun Obasanjo at his presidential library home in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. He was accompanied by a former President of the Senate, Mr. Dolphus Wabara, former Governor of Niger State, Babangida Aliyu, former Governor of Plateau State, Jonah Jang, and former Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Taufik Arapaja, among others.
As you must have guessed, it's just to come and introduce ourselves to Baba and say thank you to him. Thank you for what he did as PDP president. Thank you for their vision. Thank you for the foundation they laid for democracy to grow in Nigeria. Thank you for what they did in assisting PDP to build strong institutions which have led to Nigeria growing to what it used to be in the past 10 years or so. So we believe in coming here. We're not only coming to now introduce ourselves, but we're coming to take inspiration from the oracle. We're coming to take guidance. We're coming to take advice. We're coming to get critical support. Because if we must succeed in the gargantuan assignment that has been trusted upon us by our leaders, by our members, then certainly we must go to other people that have the requisite experience. It's our proverb that a woman who starts cooking before you must necessarily have more broken pots. So we've come here, we've spoken to Baba, Baba has spoken to us, we are enriched. And more than ever now, we realize that, yes, the task is not an easy one, but from the inspiration and guidance we receive, we are more than prepared to take PDP to the next level. As a mark of our readiness, we are going to take over Ekiti State. We shall follow that with winning the election in Osun State. And then when we do that, we will leave nobody in doubt in this country that PDP once again is on the move, is on the rise, and we are going to take Nigerians to the promised land.
And the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has inaugurated its leadership team in Delta State, tasking them with strengthening party structures, registering and verifying members, and driving mobilization and awareness across the state. Speaking at the event, Chief Great Ogboru said the ruling All Progressives Congress underestimated the resolve of Nigerians, describing the ADC as a platform for rejecting the status quo and promoting genuine people-driven democracy. In his remarks, the party's National Publicity Secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, said the ADC aims to rescue Nigeria, adding that the party remains a viable opposition and a beacon of hope ahead of the 2027 general elections.
So when you see APC today and PDP together, it is not by chance. That has been the script from the past 20 years. But this time they thought that there will be no more opposition because they thought that by moving PDP to APC, that will be the end of the matter. But unfortunately for them, man proposes and God disposes. They did not know that an insignificant, obscure party like the ADC will come up and say no. You know, these dictators, there's only one thing to stop them. Just say no to them. Just say what? No. They did not know that ADC will say no. And that they did not know that Nigerians will join ADC to say no. Nigerians and the ADC believe that we must have a democracy. Is that not so? Nigerians and ADC believe that to have a democracy, there must be an alternative. Not be so? Nigerians and ADC believe that for that alternative to be effective, the people must decide. Is that not so? Now who they decide, not me? Now you? So we are here to create an alternative, to give the people of Delta State the opportunity to say, I will decide to take this, I will not take that.
We within the ADC are very clear that the problem that Nigeria has today is as a result of the kind of politics we have played over the years. And if you are going to set Nigeria on a different trajectory and to make politics work for the people, we have to play a different kind of politics. And that is why ADC is committed that all through, not only within our party, not only what we do outside, but within our party, we ensure justice, we ensure equity, and we ensure transparency. Because we believe that this is what has been missing in Nigerian politics, and that's what ADC plans to bring back.
And still in political matters, a civil society organization, the Civic Action for Democracy, CAD, is questioning the legality of the Independent National Electoral Commission's continued recognition of the Action People's Party, despite its lawful deregistration in 2020. The group warns that the development forms part of a wider plot capable of destabilizing Nigeria's democracy and undermining the credibility of the 2027 general elections. Speaking at a press conference in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the executive director of CAD, Mr. Franklin Goforo, says APP is among the 74 political parties deregistered by INEC for failing to meet constitutional electoral requirements after the 2019 general elections, a decision later upheld by the Supreme Court in March 2022. The group is calling on INEC to immediately affirm APP's deregistered status and remove the party from its database, while urging security agencies, the Attorney General of the Federation, the National Assembly, and civil society organizations to treat the matter as an urgent threat to Nigeria's democratic stability.
Something profoundly shocking and deeply suspicious occurred during the 2020 deregistration exercise. While INEC correctly identified APP as one of the parties that had failed to meet constitutional requirements, the Commission made a false and unsubstantiated claim that APP had obtained an interim court order restraining INEC from deregistering it and therefore had to be temporarily exempted from the deregistration list. This claim was and remains not just effectively dubious but completely false. There was no suit filed by APP in any court of competent jurisdiction in Nigeria. There is no 6-year interim order because no such legal absurdity exists in Nigeria jurisprudence. We equally make urgent demands to other critical stakeholders in Nigeria's national security and governance. The Office of the National Security Advisor must immediately classify this matter as a national security threat and initiate comprehensive investigation into the APP conspiracy and its potential to destabilize the 2027 election. The Department of State Service, DSS, the Nigerian Police Force, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, must launch joint investigation into the financial dimensions of this conspiracy, following the money trail from corrupt INEC officials to APP owners and their political backers. The Attorney General of the Federation must take over the prosecution of this matter in the national interest, ensuring that all the individuals involved in this criminal enterprise face the full weight of the law. INEC must immediately pronounce APP deregistered, expose the corrupt officials who enabled this fraud, and restore integrity to Nigeria's electoral system.
And in part two, after the break, former President Goodluck Jonathan commiserates with Governor Diri over the death of his deputy. Join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima tasked graduates of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies to develop policies that will help in shaping the future of Nigeria. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Tanimu Turaki, and BOT members visit former President Olusegun Obasanjo, says PDP will win the governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states. Judges, legal practitioners, and others discuss issues of lack of confidence and trust in Nigeria's justice system. And 2 U.S. soldiers and a U.S. civilian interpreter killed in Syria in an ambush by an Islamic State gunman. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Wike, has declared that he harbors no regrets of his open support for President Ahmed Tinubu, a stance he has maintained since 2022. Mr. Wike made this known on Saturday during a special gathering held at his Abuja residence to commiserate his 58th birthday. The former River State governor said his political position remained unchanged before and during and after the 2023 presidential election, stressing that he had been consistent and transparent with his choices. Friends and his close political associates joined him in the celebration, reaffirming their loyalty and continued support to him.
Today, I'm a politician, I'm a strong politician, because of the way he stood. Because he never allowed anybody to try to buy you over. I don't know how many politicians today can stand firm that will not, give in when talk about resources, money. All of you, some of you, you stood firm up to now because don't understand the God will pay you back. Amen. I can assure you, you don't know what tomorrow will be. Nobody can tell. But continue to do and be yourself. This man lost Senate the way he was supporting Akweli. But today, the ambassador, I know the president very well. But once he makes a commitment, he will fulfill it. If you won't fulfill, he will call you, okay, say, why this? Let's do this. Sometimes you don't. These people who are carrying propaganda.
To commiserations now. Bayelsa State remains in mourning following the sudden death of its Deputy Governor, Senator Laurent Rujapo. In a show of solidarity and respect, former President Goodluck Jonathan has paid a condolence visit to Governor Duyaduri at the Government House in Yenugua, calling for reflection, compassion, and calm as the state comes to terms with the tragic loss. The shock of the Deputy Governor's death continues to reverberate across Bayelsa State. Former President Goodluck Jonathan arrives at the Government House in Yenugua to personally commiserate with Governor Duyaduri and the people of the state over the passing of Senator Laurent Rujapo, who reportedly collapsed at his office on Thursday, December 11th, and was later pronounced dead at the Federal Medical Center, Yenugua.
Good luck, Jonathan.
Describing the late Deputy Governor as humble, hardworking, and deeply committed to public service, the former president reflects on a man whose dedication left a lasting impression on all who knew him.
For me, he's somebody that myself and my foundation will never forget. All the people that I've discussed with me immediately this incident happened describe him as a very humble person. Nobody has anything negative to say about Lawrence. In fact, I was also a deputy governor here, but I think he worked harder than me. Because the way I see him work, the time is... Yes, I used to stay here in the office till sometimes 9 o'clock too. But I used to also rest a little. He appears not to rest at all. And it's been a lesson to all of us. While we are working, we must also Yes, because immediately you cross 50, you're no longer a young person.
On his part, Governor Diri expresses appreciation for the visit and appeals to Bayelsans to refrain from politicizing their tragic loss.
I'd like to use this opportunity to appeal to our people. I've seen people politicizing this death. In Ijaw land, there is no enmity in death. Let nobody politicize the death of our dearly beloved deputy governor. If anybody loves him, this is the time to show it. If we don't know how he died, let me say it clear today that I have directed an autopsy that will reveal the cause of the death of our beloved deputy governor.
A 1-minute silence is then observed in honor of the former deputy governor.
May the soul of our departed brother, friend, colleague and compatriot, His Excellency, Senator Lawrence Erijakpo, Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, rest in perfect peace.
While a condolence register is opened at the Government House. Former President Jonathan and Governor Diri later proceed to visit the widow of the former deputy governor as tributes continue to pour in for a leader many describe as dedicated, selfless, and deeply committed to the progress of Bayelsa State. And to mining and security matters now. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Mr. Dele Alake, says the federal government is tackling decisively all mining-related insecurity threatening the exploration of solid minerals in Nigeria. Speaking at the headquarters of the Mining Cadastre Office in Abuja, Mr. Alake explained that though all over the world, mining areas attract high rates of insecurity from terrorism to banditry, his administration has adopted strategic plans which he says are yielding fruitful outcomes. Our correspondent Kumbi Abuluade reports.
The federal government's digital transformation initiative to achieve a paperless civil service before the end of 2025 is taking effect as the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, through its subsidiary agency, is adopting the model. Speaking during the official ceremony to kickstart the process at the headquarters of the Mining Cadastral Office in Abuja, the Director General of the Mining Cadastral Office speaks on the impact of the initiative.
It's over 3 years. It was 3 years, November 1st, 2025, when it migrated to an online system. And migrating to an online system is still not enough. We must be able to now ensure that we align with the policies of government in terms of going paperless.
On his part, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development asserts that though areas where mining activities take place are bound to attract criminalities, his administration has rolled out measures to curtail the menace.
We try to tackle insecurity through a two-pronged approach of persuasion and, of course, coercion. And we've tabulated all of this several times. The various factors along the line of kinetic and non-kinetic measures that will be taken. Now, in short, this has produced results in terms of recovery of hitherto lost mine sites. Mining is associated with terrorism anywhere in Africa. It's not just in Nigeria. Anywhere you have a preponderance of minerals, especially the critical ones, there's most likely to be some banditry, insecurity, or terrorism at the very worst.
He also speaks on the significance of the policies rolled out by his administration.
Last year, we had a total of about 38 billion revenue. And this year, we've crossed the 50 billion mark already.
Mr. Alake further stated that the digitization initiative will ensure the processing of licensing will be more incentivized and attract more investors into the sector. From Abuja, Kumbi Aboluade, Channels Television News.
And to more security now, the Nigerian Army says it will not tolerate any act of complacency from troops and will not lower its guard in the fight against insecurity until peace returns to all parts of the country. The commander of 6th Brigade Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Kingsley Uwa, who is also in charge of Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke, disclosed this when he decorated 43 newly promoted soldiers in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital. He urged the newly decorated soldiers to view their promotion as a call to higher responsibility and emphasize dedication, professionalism, respect for human rights, and the protection of lives and property as essential virtues expected of every soldier on operations.
Therefore, today is not just a decoration ceremony. It is a call to higher responsibility, greater discipline, and deeper commitment to the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian people. Therefore, to all the newly promoted soldiers, I congratulate you. You won't answer? Promotion in the military is earned through hard work, loyalty, sacrifice, and character. But remember the following. 1, promotion is not enjoyment. It is responsibility. Your new rank comes with higher expectations, greater accountability, more eyes watching your conduct, a duty to lead, mentor, and protect your subordinates, most especially the young soldiers placed under you. Let your behavior reflect the stripes and badges on your shoulders, this time around on your chest.
Any social-cultural group for the Wati tribe of Adamawa State, the Penny Dabote Development Association, is urging the state government to probe the alleged murder of protesting women in Lamurde local government area of the state. The president of the association, Mr. James Ilya, made the call during a media briefing in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. Mr. Ilya laments the recent violent clashes in communities around the area, urging the relevant authorities to address the situation urgently.
Share with us. We demand that the personnel involved in this heinous act be brought to face the full weight of the law. We demand a swift establishment of an independent and transparent judiciary panel of inquiry comprising respected civil society leaders, human rights experts, judicial officials, and police to investigate this specific massacre and the broader security failures in this conflict. Immediate reparations and apology. We demand formal apologies and immediate comprehensive reparation from the Nigerian Army and the federal government of Nigeria to the families of the 9 murdered women, 11-year-old male child, and all other victims of this needless and mindless onslaught. Immediate redeployment of the current army units presently deployed in the area, and especially culprits, their accomplices, and their replacement with fully vetted discipline forces under a clear and public mandate to protect civilians, not to terrorize them. We call upon the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, the Chief of Defense Staff to act. Our grief is immense, but our resolve for justice and peace remains resilient.
And still ahead on News at 10, federal government of Nigeria set to forego 1.4 trillion naira following a 5% CIT cut to 25%. Please join us again. Welcome back. Well, staying with security matters now. Troops of Operation Hadinkai have successfully repelled a coordinated attack by ISWAP terrorists on troops conducting stabilization operations in Mairari area of Borno State, delivering a decisive blow to the group's offensive capability in the area in the late hours 12th of December 2025. During the failed attack, terrorists attempted to breach the base using two vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices. Both VBIEDs were promptly detected and neutralized by the dogged troops, preventing any intrusion of the base. Observations from the CCTV footage confirmed that several terrorists were killed and others sustained serious injuries, with surviving elements seen evacuating their dead and wounded from the scene. According to Lieutenant Colonel Sani Una, the spokesman of the Theatre Command, following the failed assault, troops of Section 3, supported by the Theatre Command, a Quick Reaction Group, Nigeria Police crack team, and Civilian Joint Task Force conducted a thorough exploitation of the area in the early hours of 13th of December 2025. Into other matters now, the Lagos State government has launched a comprehensive policy framework to address digital abuse and also inaugurated a technical working group to prevent and respond to technology-facilitated sexual and gender-based violence across the state. Wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, who chaired the occasion in Lagos, described the policy framework as a bold intervention needed to ensure that no one is left at the mercy of online predators or digital violators.
Senior government officials, including the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, officials of the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, as well as officers of the Nigeria Police Force, come together under one roof to strengthen the nation in tackling sexual and gender-based violence in Lagos.
Lagos State.
In addressing the menace of SGBV, the state government is set to launch a comprehensive policy framework targeted at preventing and responding to technology-facilitated sexual and gender-based violence across the state.
Technology has indeed transformed communication, but it has also introduced new pathways for harm: cyberstalking, doxing, non-consensual image sharing, online grooming, digital extortion, and other forms of technology-enabled violations. The launch of this policy on such a significant day reinforces the state's commitment to safeguarding the digital rights of all its residents and ensuring that technology is not misused to perpetrate harm.
Those heading the judicial sector in Lagos explain that the technology-driven initiative aligns with the state's justice system with emerging global trends.
In Nigeria, a 2023 study found that nearly 1 in 3 young women active on social media have encountered at least one form of digital harassment, whether cyberstalking, non-consensual image citing, threats, impersonation, or digital blackmail. These are not abstract statistics. They translate into real fear, real psychological harm, real reputation damage, and in some cases, real physical damage. The unfortunate realities are that the TFGBV are moving fast. Thus, we must deal with how to curb the threat in Lagos State, and respond in real time to protect the victims and punish the perpetrators.
Lagos State's judiciary will always cooperate and support all that is excellent. We appreciate the police coming to testify, but we want to use this medium to say, don't just report. You should encourage your staff, the IPOs, to come to court and testify.
The State Police Command welcomes the new policy framework and assures the public of its commitment to tackling all forms of abuse.
The Nigerian Police Force, and in particular Lagos State Command, will continue to uphold zero tolerance for sexual and gender-based violence in all forms and ensure that offenders are held accountable under the law.
A lot of them are dying in silence. No one can see them, no one can hear them. But now that we have this policy in place, we are so pleased, and we look forward to working with the DSVA in executing this policy.
Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu applauded DSVA for its foresight in addressing the rapidly evolving risks associated with technology and social media.
The technology facilitated SGBV is real, evolving and deeply destructive, particularly for women, children, and vulnerable persons. The unveiling of this policy framework is therefore a bold and timely step by Lagos State to protect human dignity in both physical and digital spaces, ensuring that no one is left at the mercy of online predators or digital violators.
Then, the comprehensive policy framework designed to address technology-facilitated sexual and gender-based violence is unveiled by the team. The event also witnessed the inauguration of a multi-sectoral technical working group that will drive the implementation of the new policy in Lagos State.
And to education now, delegates from polytechnics across Nigeria endorse for the 18th National Delegates Conference of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP. The Deputy Governor of Plateau State, Mrs. Josephine Pio, represented the Plateau State Governor at the opening ceremony with a strong call for a new phase of labor leadership rooted not just in agitation, but in innovation and strategic management. Our correspondent, Percy Debang, reports.
The 18th National Delegate Conference of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics brings together representatives from polytechnics across the country, the convergence of academics, labor leaders, and education stakeholders. Declaring the conference open, the Deputy Governor of Plateau State, Mrs. Josephine Pio, who is representing Governor Caleb Mutfwang, said Nigeria is entering a new era where labor must evolve beyond protest to strategic partnership with government and institutions.
This conference, once again, reinforces your commitment to a more progressive, modern, and inclusive labor movement. The future of labor leadership will no longer depend solely on agitation, but on innovation, collaboration, strategic thinking, and management expertise.
The need to strengthen the polytechnic system is highlighted as delegates are urged to confront key challenges confronting technical education in the country.
Let me emphasize that NIPSS does not see ASUP as an adversary. We see ASUP as a critical partner in the quest to the position today as a backbone of Nigerian industrialization and economic diversification. We share common goals to make Nigeria polytechnic globally competitive, to ensure that staff are respected, supported, and adequately motivated.
The conference provides a platform for us to discuss critical issues affecting our institutions, share best practices, and chart a way forward.
For the national president of the association, unresolved structural and welfare issues remain the biggest burden in the polytechnic system.
Part of agitation is that the polytechnic should be allowed to mount dual mode, that is ND and BTech. If you migrate from after your graduation from ND, you should go into BTech. And we are emphasizing on this because the discrimination and the dichotomy against HND product is not helping the growth of the country.
The conference is expected to produce resolutions aimed at repositioning Nigeria's polytechnic education and redefining the future of labor engagement in the country. Percy Dabang, Channels Television News.
And to company news now, Stanel World, the popular mega business hub located along the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway in Awka, Anambra State, commissioned in 2017, has been revitalized with significant upgrades, repositioning the subsidiary of the Stanel Group as a premier one-stop destination for entertainment, leisure, and comprehensive services. The relaunch is marked by the soft reopening of the exquisite Operuche Lounge, a sophisticated addition offering premium food, fine wines, and an exclusive, serene environment.
Stanel World, a premier business hub in Awka, Anambra State, owned by Dr. Stanley Uzochukwu of the Stanel Group and the Delboro Lagos, has been officially relaunched with state-of-the-art facilities, offering a comprehensive range of services for entertainment, leisure, and business. The upgraded Stanel World features cutting-edge facilities, including the Stanel Mart, a 4,000-seat event center, dry cleaning services, clothing lines for Moduko and Kumbi, Lagos, and the Stanel Bakery. Children can also enjoy the playground at no cost, while the snacks and fresh juice bar and Stanel fast food outlets give refreshments.
To the great HNIs, businessmen, top executives that work so hard to get the right service and the great privileges.
At the soft opening of the Oporiche Lounge, dignitaries including the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyeka Chukwuibezim, the Chairman of Innocent Group, Mr. Innocent Chukwuma, and the Chairman of Cubana Group, Mr. Obinna Yebu, among other notable persons in Anambra, toured the facilities, commending the hub's enhanced vibrancy and appeal.
Anambra, we're every day we are growing. Okay, the pace of development is wonderful. Okay, it's unprecedented. You know, you see the Fun City, and by the left you now have Oporiche and the other one. In fact, it's a village on its own. We can only thank God for him, for thinking home. And we are using this opportunity also to beckon on our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, our sisters. There is no place like home.
One of Anambra's sons can be able to establish this shows that Anambra is in his mind. I know he has a lot of other states, but he come here to do this sort of thing. He shows his mind with Anambra.
This is first of many of this to spring up. Okay, so we are taking home right now. We are coming back. Anambra, we are back home.
The Chief Executive Officer of Stanel Group and the Delboro Lagos, Dr. Stanley Uzochukwu, describes the facility as a premium one-stop destination designed to deliver high-quality services in a secure setting.
It's just to bring everyone together. So it's a one-stop shop. Come in, and if you're not washing your clothes, you're visiting the cinema, you're doing your event or the laundry, and also an all-encompassing where you come in and you do everything that you need to do. And you can also, in another 3 weeks, we'll be commissioning a project in Ozubulu, which is like 10 times bigger than this place, where we're doing a lot of backward integration, the production factories and all of that. So I'm happy that we have a lot of people gathered here today to have a feel of the facility.
The upgrades are expected to drive economic growth by generating more jobs for the youth, while elevating Awka's status as a hub for entertainment, premium leisure, and refreshment in the southeastern region.
And now to economic empowerment. 1,000 Nigerian women have received tricycles from Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation to improve their livelihood. The initiative aims to empower women across the transport and mobility sectors, adding that 10,000 women in mobility represent a major step towards expanding opportunities for female workers in Nigeria. Managing Director of the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, Mr. Ozoma Wagba, launched the scheme in Abuja as part of the 10,000 Women in Mobility initiative of the corporation.
The launch of the 10,000 Women in Mobility is one of several empowerment programs designed to support women working in mobility-based livelihoods while improving their access to sustainable finance.
Please can we give Nigeria a loud round of applause?
The Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation introduced the program with the aim of promoting financial inclusion, providing dignity, and creating economic opportunities for women in the informal and transportation sectors of Nigeria's economy.
Numbers alone are not enough. What matters is the hope this program brings to homes, to families, to communities across Nigeria. With access to credit for mobility services, ride-hailing, delivery, micro-transport and mobile trading, women who had once limited opportunities will now earn their own terms. They will also move succeed on their own terms.
Credit Corp is rolling out this project in collaboration with leading partners who bring together financing, asset provision, training, and business support to ensure beneficiaries not only access credit but also succeed in their mobility ventures.
Consumer credit at the end of the day is about having a higher quality of life. And our argument is that a woman keke driver, a woman Uber driver, a woman motorcycler, on average, has a higher quality of life in terms of wear and tear on their body.
Each of the beneficiaries were handed keys to the tricycles.
So I believe this has also empowered me and provided me opportunity to make money, to also ride, to help improve life.
The Minister of Women Affairs takes a ride on a tricycle before speaking on the federal government's plan to replicate the initiative across the 774 local government areas of the Federation.
This particular effort is for 1,000 women, but we're looking to replicate across the country, across local government. So it's going to form a part of our Renewed Hope Social Impact 774. So you see, that's a lot of numbers.
This initiative will seek to address the challenges of unemployment among women and also boost economic activities in the grassroots and urban centers when fully implemented.
Now to legal matters. The executive arm government has a key role to play alongside major stakeholders in the judiciary for there to be public confidence in Nigeria's justice sector. And there's a view of some participants at a conversation held in Lagos recently on the topic rebuilding public trust in Nigerian justice system. Other participants were of the view that the executive stands to benefit from the rot and the brokenness of the justice system, and perhaps the solution might be in external forces. Our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shoyele, has the report.
A recent survey reveals that 73% of practicing lawyers believe that public trust in the Nigerian justice system is low. The need to urgently do something about this poor perception is the reason for this gathering of judges, lawyers, and even concerned members of the society in Lagos.
The most fundamental problem we are grappling with in this profession in 2025 is a problem of the erosion of public trust.
Under the theme, Rebuilding Public Trust in the Nigerian Justice System, Responsibilities of the Bar, the Bench and the Society, the Attorney General of the Federation, who joined virtually, spoke to the efforts the current administration has made to address some of the issues in the justice sector and the collective role all stakeholders have to play.
As we discussed today's theme, the focus must remain on responsibility. The bar has a duty to uphold ethics and professional conduct. The bench must reinforce fairness, openness, and case management. Society must also play its part by engaging constructively with the system and supporting the rule of law.
Referencing the resolutions passed at the 2024 Justice Sector Summit, the keynote speaker, former Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibaju, noted that the necessary reforms had to be driven by the executive branch of government.
The truth of the matter is that when it comes to matters of justice, perception is reality. Executive has the principal role to play. If the executive says we're determined to do this, sitting and working with the judiciary, we can make a world of difference.
Other speakers on the panel preferred possible solutions to the issues.
What can be done and make things better? Appointment process, making the judges themselves individually more accountable by monitoring what they do. And then the punishment process also has to be very open and very clear to people.
I will take on the NBA because I don't believe that they are doing what they should. Number one, do not complain about what you permit because you are the representatives of the people to make sure that the best people get to the court.
One of the things we must do is prevent the judiciary from deciding on politics. Okay? If disputes have to go to a court, judiciary must not say he won, she won. Okay, this didn't follow the process, go back and do it again. judiciary makes those kinds of decisions, it creates a public perception that this is not about the good of the system.
The executive is peopled mainly by the political class, who are beneficiaries of the broken system, who depend on that system to remain broken so that they can achieve their aim. So we have a problem. We will need some external stimuli. Maybe Donald Trump. or to invade the voice. Or Yemi, my sister is here, just as we have end SARS, end bad government, we might need end bad judiciary.
Participants also recommended more use of virtual hearings and technology to address issues of access to justice and speed with the dispensation of cases. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
And now to economic matters. The federal government is preparing to forego an estimated 1.4 trillion naira in revenue in 2026 as it moves ahead with a major overhaul of Nigeria's corporate tax regime. Under the plan, the corporate income tax rate will be cut from 30% to 25%, a move officials say is aimed at unlocking business growth and attracting fresh investment. The tax cut is a central pillar of the government's newly consolidated fiscal policy framework designed to make Nigeria's economy more competitive within the region. The chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Yudili, says the reduction is intended to position Nigeria as a more attractive destination for both local and foreign investors. With the lower tax burden, the businesses are expected to retain more of their profits, potentially driving expansion, boosting formal sector participation and creating new jobs.
Welcome to Sports News. On the news at 10. Nigeria has submitted its bid to the African Union Sports Council to host the 2031 African Games, signaling the nation's ambition to once again welcome Africa's premier multi-sport event nearly 25 years after successfully hosting the 2003 edition. The National Sports Commission says the bid presentation was made during high-level engagement with the AU Sports Council, where the country reaffirmed its readiness and capacity to stage another world-class continental showpiece. Africa's bid to host the 2031 Africa Games is guided by a forward-looking vision to harness sports as a catalyst for national development. Now in the English Premier League football, Cole Palmer scored his first goal since September as Chelsea ended a 4-game winless run with a 2-0 victory over in-form Everton at Stamford Bridge. Mohamed Salah made his return for Liverpool and got an assist as Arne Slot's side beat Brighton 2-0 thanks to Hugo Ekitekie's double. Harry Wilson set up 2 Fulham goals before scoring their third as they inflicted a 7th straight league defeat on Burnley. Meanwhile, Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has admitted that they still don't know if they'll be able to select Brian Mbeumo, Amad Diallo and Nasser Mazraoui against Bournemouth owing to the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations. The mandatory release date for clubs to allow players to join with their countries is on Monday, but Manchester United hosts Bournemouth that evening, and Amorim says discussions with national teams are still ongoing. The trio all started Manchester United's win over Wolverhampton Wanderers last week, and the 40-year-old Portuguese believes the situation could be different for all 3 players who've trained, but he expects to hear a decision before Monday. Staying with football, Aston Villa's manager Unai Emery has encouraged his team to relish their current winning streak ahead of Sunday's trip to West Ham United. Aston Villa have achieved 8 consecutive victories across all competitions, marking their longest top-flight winning run since March 1914. Emery insists there is no added pressure on his squad, urging them to enjoy each moment and perform at their best. England forward Ollie Watkins is set to make his 200th Premier League appearance. And that's where we leave it on sports news. It's back to Laddie for the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks, Olumide. Well, two stories outside our shores now. 2 U.S. soldiers and a U.S. civilian interpreter have been killed in an ambush in central Syria, according to U.S. Central Command. The attack happened near Palmyra during a joint U.S.-Syrian operation. Officials say a lone Islamic State gunman opened fire, wounding 3 other U.S. service members before being killed. President Donald Trump called the attack an ISIS strike and warned of very serious retaliation, adding that the wounded troops are recovering. It was said that the victims' names are being withheld pending family notification. No group has claimed responsibility, but the Pentagon says initial assessment points to ISIS and that the attack occurred in an area outside Syrian government control. Syrian state media reports 2 Syrian personnel were also injured. U.S. officials say operations against ISIS will continue. And that's it on News at 10. And the main news again. Vice President Kashim Shettima has challenged the graduates of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, to develop policies that will help in shaping the nation's future. And that's it on the News at 10. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Laddie Williams. Continue to enjoy the weekend.